Hi guys, first of all, sorry if I look a bit dishevelled, but my hair's still wet and I just couldn't get out of bed fast enough to make this vlog on these two subjects. The first one is Peter Spencer. He's on a hunger strike here in Australia because of what the government's doing to him over this carbon tax, and the other one is about everybody's superannuation will be taken off them and they're given a pension. The first one is about this guy. He's up a pole. He's on a hunger strike because of what the guy's doing to him. Now, I could sit here and explain it all to you, but what I'm going to do is there's a radio announcer in Sydney. His name's Alan Jones, and he interviewed the guys that are looking after this guy. And anyway, so I'm going to play to you what they're doing to him, because he can say it far more succinctly than I ever will be able to. You just have to look at me for a while.
Staging a protest after a 10-metre tower on his property near Canberra because he says the federal government has declared his property a carbon sink without compensating him. Basically what has happened is that without consultation with farmers, federal government has declared a whole heap of farms what they call a carbon sink, that is, leave the trees there and allow the carbon dioxide to be absorbed into the trees. And that has meant that 109 million hectares of Australian families' private property is under government vegetation management laws. And what Peter Spencer, this farmer, is saying is that the government in this way single-handedly has reduced Australia's carbon emissions by 22%, which has enabled Australia to meet its Kyoto Protocol treaty obligations, and it saved the Commonwealth tens of billions of dollars in compliance penalties by the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. And the farming families haven't been paid appropriate compensation. In other words, Prime Minister Rudd can strut the stage at Copenhagen saying Australia has met its Kyoto Treaty obligations, but farmers, by being made to reduce broad-scale land clearing since 1990, have offset substantial increases in greenhouse gas emissions from other sectors, namely energy. And so the federal government, without broad-scale land clearing reductions, would never have met its greenhouse emissions target. Indeed, they would have been 30% above 1990 levels. So Australian farmers have been responsible for virtually the entire share of the nation's greenhouse gas emission reductions, but their efforts, worth billions of dollars, have not been recognised or financially rewarded by the government. So farmers have reduced greenhouse gas emissions by about 70 million tonnes since 1990. By 2010, the savings will be about 83 million tonnes, and those emissions reductions are equivalent to eliminating the total annual emissions of New Zealand or Ireland. But over that time, emissions from energy and transport have continued to skyrocket, so farmers have been carrying the can. And Peter Spencer's farm is one of them, part of the federal government's plan to meet Kyoto targets implemented by the New South Wales government, directed by Canberra, the same as is happening in Queensland. Peter Spencer has written to Kevin Rudd on the 23rd of November, no answer. He's asked Mr Rudd to act morally, no answer. He argues the federal government has stolen the entire Kyoto emission target from farmers.
I'm going to leave it there because I'm going to put the link to the site and you can go and watch it there. It's an interesting interview, and it's worth watching. And you know what angers me about this is that media have put nothing on. You know, normally in the old days, if there was a hunger strike, it would be all over the news. But see, this doesn't meet their agenda, so they've been told to quash it. So it's absolutely sickening. Rudd, you low-life scumbag, is stripping the Australians of everything they have to suck up to these elitists. You make me sick, Rudd. Absolutely make me sick. The other thing is the superannuation over here. The government's also going to be taking your superannuation off you, and they will give you a pension so you can live in some cruddy little flat somewhere. It doesn't matter how much you've put in there. What they're going to do is take your superannuation off you and give you a pension. And I'll also put the links to the site so you can go and read this. There's a file you can download all about this, so go and read that. So it doesn't matter how much you put in there. And so when the shit hit the fan over here with the economy collapsing, I tried to get my superannuation out because I thought I'm better off taking it out, taking that big lump sum of money and investing it in gold and silver, because I would have been far better off. And I knew, because they had invested in different things, that it would have gone down. And sure enough, the last time I looked, it had gone down $7,000. So it's slowly been eating away. I'll have no superannuation. And when they did that, I stopped paying into it, because I was doing that. I was paying whatever I could into my superannuation. But when they did that, I thought, what's the point? I'm giving them money to lose it on the market. I'm better off keeping the money and investing it myself. And the fact that they wouldn't give me my own money and just let it slip away. So I'm putting these two to the side so you can go and look into them yourself. You'll find everything I've said is true. I really wish, I just can't wait to see these elitists at the top, Rockefeller and Rothschilds and whoever the house, these pricks at the top. Now, somebody wrote to me and he said, I really like your videos, but I don't like your swearing. I'm sorry, but my proclivities lie towards swearing. That's who I am. I swear. If I get sometimes I get on here and I get so worked up, it slips out. The funny thing is, if I ever got into an argument face to face with somebody, I never ever swear. I don't ever swear when I'm in an argument with somebody, because the minute you swear, you lose the argument. That's in my eyes anyway. But anyway, I swear. I'm sorry to all you people that watch me that I swear, but I swear. So all I can say is get over it. Okay, guys, that's all I wanted to get on here and talk about. You guys have a nice day, or try to. Actually, I was just about to cancel this, and I thought of one other thing. I seen the Green Minister on there last night, and they asked her what they thought about Rudd going to the Copenhagen and all the entourage he's taking, and that they'll be going to cocktail parties and their private jets and their private hotels, and what she thought about them spending all this money. They're going on over there like Rudd wants to screw the Australian public for everything he can to suck up to these elitists, and yet he goes out and does whatever. He loves the lifestyle he's got. He doesn't have to worry. He'll never have to worry. And they asked her what she thought about this, and she said, oh, well, I think a little bit of spending's okay if they, get the emissions down in the world or whatever. And I thought, oh my God, lady, what are you saying? You're telling him it's okay to be screwing us? Do you hear yourself? It's not okay. The cocktail parties aren't okay. The entourages aren't okay. The hotels aren't okay. There's people over here starving. There's people around the world starving. People have nothing, and they're getting screwed more and more every day. No, it's not okay.